What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Imperfect. And before we dive into it, guys, listen. I know you're looking at me right now and you're like, what the hell is going on right now? I may have been trying to shave my head and may have accidentally clipped my eyebrow, and I looked weird, so I shaved both eyebrows, and now I have no eyebrows and no hair. So rip on me in the comment section, but just gonna say that out right now. That is why I have no eyebrows. It's a struggle, man. You know it? It's a struggle. No hair cutters, no nothing out there, so you have to do everything by yourself, you know?
Hey, I'm digging the look, though. I think it looks good.
Pulling some Jaden Smith right now, you know? But yes, here, I need to introduce our guest. This is Zack Lowry. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. So I hear that you are a producer. Will you explain to us what that is?
So I produce music. I make music. Right now, I'm primarily focused on, like making beats and reselling them to, rappers, vocalists, that kind of stuff. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, is a producer mean just, like, making beats? Or, like, what is a producer, like? Is there, like, a definition or something? Or it just says, I make beats type of thing?
I mean, there's a whole range of things it could be. Like, I primarily make beats. But in addition to that, I also, like if someone sends me, their tracks that their band did and they want me to mix them, I'll do that too. Or,
Okay.
I'll record someone. Or, I mean, it can mean a whole range of things,
Right.
I mean, even for something like a podcast, like I could
Mhm.
mix like something like this.
Yeah, because mix the audio levels. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, what is the process of, like, making a beat? What is your process of making a beat?
Well, a lot of it depends on the genre. Like, if I'm just, making something for fun, I'll sit down and I'll go to my little MIDI keyboard. Or I guess if you don't know what that is, it's kind of just like little piano, I guess,
Gotcha.
electronic piano. And I'll just sit down and come up with a little riff and I'll record it. Then I'll build stuff around it. I'll add drums behind it. I'll add bass, That's my general process. Maybe I'll find a sample on the internet that I can use, like a guitar sample or whatever.
And mix it in.
Depending on what genre I'm doing. And yeah.
Are you using Fruity Loops or
Yeah, I use FL Studio.
FL Studio? I know every time I say Fruity Loops, people say FL. I feel like you guys talk about it so much. You're like, it's FL Studio. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds weird calling it Fruity Loops, to be honest.
Isn't it, right? It's like, I use Fruity Loops. Sounds professional. Yeah, that's wild. So, like, how long do you think it takes to make a beat? I know it, like, average, or it depends, but, like, on a good average.
It depends so much on the beat. I mean, I've sat down and busted out one in like 45 minutes.
Wow.
And then other times, like, it's taken like 2 or 3 days to really, really get the sound that I'm going for and get things right. So
Right.
it depends so much on what I'm working with, too.
Right. So that makes sense, though. So when you work with, like, a rapper, is it, I'm curious, like, do you normally make a beat for a rapper? Does a rapper give you the lyrics, you make a beat for them? Like, how does that kind of process work when you work directly with a rapper?
So there's 2 ways that could go. So the first one is that I just have a beat already made and they're interested in purchasing it. So, they'll send me the money. I'll remove my watermark from it and I'll send it to them. Then the second way that could go is they hit me up and they say they want to commission a beat. So they'll tell me what genre they're looking for, what sound they're going for, and I'll make it. I'll send it to them as kind of a rough draft. And then from there I can change things that they don't like about it or, that they think could be different.
Work with
That's
it.
the general process. I mean, it totally depends on the rapper too. Everyone has their own different way of going about it.
Right. So do you have, like, a process right now where people buy beats? Like, do you have, like, I know a lot of people right now are doing that thing where you upload beats to a website and people literally just come to your website, purchase the rights, and then, like, there you go, there's the beat. Or do you have, like, a more kind of direct message type approach?
So that's what I'd like to be doing. I wish that all my beat sales could be online and in my shop. I have a shop on airbit.com, but that hasn't really been doing as well. The thing that's worked best for me is, approaching local musicians and just messaging them and saying, hey, I'm a producer. I provide these services.
Mm-hmm.
If you need them, hit me up and I'll take care of it.
Right. Like, because I have a friend that's a producer, and I try to get him to come on 1,000 times, but he's just like, nah, I don't do cameras. Noah, I'm talking about you. But, I mean, he's a dope producer, but we had this conversation once, it's like, how does a producer, quote unquote, like, make it? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be a lot of just kind of DMing people and trying to get that one track that goes viral?
Mm-hmm.
Is it trying to work with as many local people as you can and just trying to resell it to the same people and make income that way? Like, what kind of like do you think you can like grow your business and try to make for example, just a producer specific income type of thing?
Yeah, for me, making it would just be that, being able to pay my bills by producing. That's my ultimate end goal. When I first started out as a musician, it was like, oh, I want to be famous and I want to play big shows.
Right.
And the farther I've got into it and as I've gotten to producing, it's like, well, I don't really care about that. I just want to be able to make music and live my life and do my thing. And
Yep.
for me, that would be my end goal in this. And, if I end up, gaining a big following or whatever, then great. Like, that's awesome. But
Right. So it's kind of just like that. So, but that's your main source right now, just kind of DMing rappers, talking with them, kind of conversation,
Yeah.
and try to
yeah, rappers, local musicians, anyone like that.
work with them. Heck yeah, yo. Yeah. So like working with musicians, you mentioned that you were yourself a musician. Like, so what did you do before kind of transitioning into beats?
So I started out just in middle school, doing band, doing percussion. And then once I got out of school, I joined a little ska band. Or I guess I didn't join. I started one with my friends. And I played drums. And it's just kind of gone from there pretty much. I've picked up a lot of different instruments over the years and done a lot of different stuff. And this is just where I'm at right now.
That's cool. How was the ska band?
It was really cool, to say the least. I would not be where I am in music without it. It connected me to my local music scene. I mean, I made a lot of friends with it, had a lot of good experiences, and
Right.
there is a lot of teenage drama and whatnot, it being as a bunch of like 17, 18-year-olds in a band,
Right.
spending like 4 days a week together. But
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Nothing at most with them. It's like everybody like American dream. Start as a teenager, you could start a band with your homies and
yeah,
rock out.
and like everyone. I feel like every teenager has that moment with their friends where they're like, let's start a band, guys.
Yeah.
And, the fact that we did that and it actually went somewhere locally, like, I'm really proud of that. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So I know we were talking too before. You mentioned that you did like gigs and stuff too. So what kind of gigs were you performing? Was it with that band or?
Yeah, I performed with that band. And then after they broke up, I was in a couple other bands. And I mean, it really was all over the place. I played bars. I played at a local venue called Decadence a lot. I played some out of town shows.
Just kind of
I
everywhere.
once performed a concert in a Walmart bathroom.
What?
If you're from Pocatello, you may have seen that going around on Facebook.
Nah, that's.
Right.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I did that with Raz. He was on last week's, or I don't know if you do it weekly. Whatever.
Yeah.
Your
Nothing,
last
he was on
episode.
Nothing at Most. Yeah.
Yeah. And our buddy Jared. And it went a little bit viral locally, and it was really cool.
That is super cool.
As far as gigs go, it's like I've done a little bit of everything at this point. I mean, I even played a little retirement home gig once.
That's
Like,
awesome, yo. That's wild. I've actually done that too. Back when I was in my dance career, I can't remember where it was, but one of my friends worked there, and she was like, "Yo, I know you're dancing. It's almost Christmas. We're supposed to have this performer come. Would you mind like coming and dancing for our old folks?" And it was so interesting because like you just kind of like jump around a little bit, and they're like, "Whoa,"
Yeah.
they're just like they loved it, and they were just like, "Yo, honey, come here. You're so good." Like I'm like, this is so awesome.
Yeah, it was a really small crowd, and like it was just really cool. It's actually something I'd love to do more. But I'm not even sure how you'd get tapped into like
Right.
playing a bunch of retirement homes.
Yeah, I know, right? I know a guy. Grab my card. Retirement home player.
Well, my supervisor from one of my old jobs contacted me because he knew I was a musician. He was like, "Hey, you should come do this. I'm working with a company that does a lot of stuff with retirement homes, and we'd love to have you guys come out." So
That's cool, dude. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
it was really fun.
Yeah, kind of diving into that a little bit. I like that. So, kind of talking about a little bit about this industry and like the rap scene, local scene, all that kind of stuff. What do you think the state of the industry is, like at least locally around here with music and things like that?
Could you be a little more specific in your question?
So it's like, so I was talking to Nothing at Most, and they were mentioning how the music scene around here is like good, but it's very niche. Like, do you think it's like music supporters support each other around here a lot? Do you think it could grow more? Like, how could we get more people inside of our Pocatello music scene?
Oh man, that's an interesting question. Well, right now our music scene, I mean, the state of it is small but genuine, I would say. It's not like we have a massive amount of people involved in it, but like, or at least the part that I'm involved in. But the people that are, they're so genuine and so awesome, and they're really supportive of everything. In terms of growing it, that's kind of tough right now. I mean, if you want to have like all ages, all inclusive shows, then there's not a lot of big venues that are out there to support that right now.
Right.
We've got Decadence, and that's a really cool place. The owner's awesome, but it's a small shop. That the performance area is pretty small, and like we don't have a lot of other like really nice spots for it right now.
Right.
We have Elks Lodge, but that's fairly expensive, so not a lot of promoters will go that route of putting shows on at Elks Lodge. We used to have a venue called the Garage, but that kind of died out. So.
Oh yeah, that did.
Yeah.
The Garage. I was I can't remember what you call it, but I like took people's IDs there for a minute.
Really?
What's his name? I can't remember the guy that started it.
Xander?
Xander, yes.
Yeah. I was fairly involved in the Garage towards the end. When Xander moved out of town, me and my buddy hit him up and we were like, "Hey, do you want us to run this venue?" And he did for a few months.
That's awesome.
And then ultimately, I won't get into everything that happened, but the whole thing, it fizzled out. Right. We had our issues in the end, but
that sucks, man. Yeah.
I loved the Garage though. I think our venue needs another venue.
Our city,
our town, needs another venue like the Garage.
Yeah, the Garage was really sweet. It was like a perfect spot. It had a lot of potential. I know when he started it, which was wild. And I was like, dude, this is wild. This is interesting. And I can't remember even how, but somehow we were talking. He's like, do you want to take people's IDs? And I was like, yeah, sure. So just took people's IDs. They came in, whatever,
Nice.
And, but yeah, like working with him and just around me is a lot of energy. Really cool dude.
Yeah.
But, man, that sucks. That sucks. Getting energy and starting a business is not easy.
Yeah. Well, after that shut down, me and my buddy Marvin, the dude who I was kind of like helping manage the Garage with, we were looking for another spot that we could keep it going with, and like there's nothing, man. Landlords aren't interested in renting for that kind of thing. And then of course you have noise curfews, so that limits a lot of areas, and like it's tough.
It does make
really
it difficult.
Tough.
Yeah, so because you were talking about, which is a good subject too, is when you have something you like doing, and this is what talking about that thing most. In fact, most of these people on up that I've had on the show are younger people. They've all wanting to do things, graduating college, in college, starting businesses, and we're all kind of getting our thing out there. But there's this common thing where it's like no matter what you want to do, you can't just go chase it 24/7 because you have a life you have to support, you have to eat, you have to pay rent, you have to pay bills. And so you have to like work a normal job. And I was talking to you a little bit about that, and you mentioned something actually quite interesting, that you work for a disabled adult home, right?
So I'm a caretaker for mentally disabled adults.
Gotcha.
And I work for a company that, they work in different local like group homes or, just individual homes for these people. Right. I've been doing that since I was about 19.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. So what is that like at a daily thing working?
Well, right now it's not too crazy because right now I'm a graveyard worker. So like I'll go to work and the people I work with will just sleep all night.
Right.
But it hasn't always been like that by any means. I worked at a company for a while where it was like 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week working with these people. And it could get intense sometimes. And I would get very emotionally burned out.
Yeah.
It can be a lot, but it's really fulfilling too. Definitely.
I was about to say, like, the fulfilling part of that must feel, like, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you work with these people every day, and then you start, you get to know them really well, and then you start to see them make all this progress. And, like, it's such a good feeling to be a part of that, help them with that progress and see what they're doing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love that. I absolutely love that. So, like, how's it been working there with this coronavirus outbreak? Like, do you guys have to take any extra steps or, like...
Right now, it's not too crazy. There's definitely been some changes. Like, our office has not been operating a lot. They want us to disinfect things a lot. Like, I've had one of our head supervisors stop by and be like, hey, disinfect everything like 4 times a night.
Oh,
But
jeez.
other than that, it hasn't been too crazy because there's not a lot of like an insane amount of traffic in and out of these places.
Right.
It's just the people who work there and the people who live there. So
Right. Because don't they have like family members, I'm sure, like visit?
it just it depends on who you're talking about.
Right.
And I can't get into it too much because of HIPAA violations.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I got
So, but the traffic is pretty minimal. I'm actually pretty grateful right now because with everything going on, so many people are losing jobs and they're out of work, and it's like I kind of just get to go sit in a house from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. every night, do my thing, and help take care of these people.
Heck yeah, man.
So
That's
yeah.
noble. I love that.
Oh, actually, one thing.
Yeah.
In terms of what's coming up for me as a producer, I should definitely shout out that I'm working with a local rapper called Jay Insight, and I just got a rough draft of his album work.
Oh, heck yeah.
And that's going to be coming out soon, so go check him out. If you want to go check me out on social media, I go by Fibonacci Beats, YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. So, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I was listening to some of your stuff too, and it's really good. And your music style is kind of what I like. It's very, at least the songs I was listening to, like the vibey, kind of soft. Like I like the ones you kind of vibe with. I like.
Yeah, I'm
those.
guessing you were like checking out the lo-fi stuff and all that.
Yeah. I just clicked like the most recent upload or something.
Yeah, that stuff's always fun to make.
Yeah.
And then I also do I'm kind of all over the place. I do dubstep and stuff too.
Heck
so
yeah, dude. Well, if
yeah.
y'all are interested, you know how to hit him up. Check him out.
Yeah, Fibonacci Beats.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. This is
Anytime.
really cool.
Anytime, man. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.